Starship go boom. This is the second of today's videos, this evening's videos. Starship, when a Block 2 engine exploded or leaked and caused a fire, there was a it was it spun out of control and that was that. Why they can't put gimbaling in the bigger engines, I don't know. But if they're going to use the big ones, they might as well just keep using the big ones. Or, have one that's bigger that moves things around. I guess having more than one is good. But whatever they're doing, the configuration sounds nice. It looks neat. But I don't think it doesn't prove to work very well. So, maybe they should all be gimbaling and maybe they should all be small. So, a bunch of Merlins. Merlin works. We know Merlin works. And get rid of the attic. Put it in the hot state. Make the hot staging ring bigger. Put it in the attic. Or take out of the attic. Larger ring. The other thing SpaceX could do is to quit worrying about bringing these things home. Until we actually bring stuff down from orbit or from other planets, you don't need to reorbit. Starships, if you want reusability, this is what I've been saying. Reusability means, or just advanced usability. If something gets into orbit, keep it there, except for people, and maybe including people. Set up a space where people can actually stay, and have gravity. And that's it. I keep going on this because it's still true. Because that's what we need to test that. Just put a bunch of Falcon upper stages. Set them up to get trussed up and transform to become a ring space station, and then see if there's gravity. Go do various speeds, maybe allow it to be various distances. Just need 3 or 4, and then try. See if and you need enough space where people can walk and see whether they fall down or not, and have them make sure that make sure they are fully aware that they need to, not try to cope, just act natural and say what's true rather than trying to survive the test, or trying to skew the test to look like things are ready, because if once we have gravity, everybody's going to be using it, and we don't want people falling down sick, especially if there are children. So, for those of us who could be spacefarers, so yeah, it's use those upper stages, and leave Starship up there to be a place where we put these things together, or a place where the people who are putting things together live. Just a rudimentary Skylab type space station. Nothing fancy. And if you want to build multiple modules, use stage 2 Falcons. Design features in, if possible, to make them convertible. So, put it in a conversion pack to at least start the process going, and then maybe, design a process where once you're in orbit, you can, incrementally turn these things into, permanent things. Send up the equipment to change it on a Starship. Send up to space to make a hangar. A couple of Starships with some inflatables. Some inflatable walls or canvases, or something that makes a bigger hangar if you need a bigger hangar. Yeah, and on the moon, forget refueling and forget landing an entire starship, for God's sakes. That's just an ego thing. Land what you need to land, and then, have something that goes up and down. But, if you're going to do cargo, just design something that goes right to the moon. That you can, put into a parking orbit, then blast to a specific point on the lunar surface. And it doesn't have to be, an in the sunlight piece, because you're building a habitat. Just decide on a spot to put a station on the near side, another spot to build a station on the near side, and a spot to build a station on the far side, and make sure they've got line of sight, or a satellite system that keeps them in contact, or 4 or 6 or whatever. So a line of stations. So there's always something that's in the light. Put up nuclear power, but don't land whatever you want to land, but don't worry about it coming back up. Just put things on, put the freight on, and have the freighters stay to be reused as station infrastructure. Don't even put people on them. It's like, okay, what can I put up? How much fuel do I need to get it there? How much fuel do I need to get it down? And then what's your cargo capacity? Do that with a Starship. Do that with something smaller. Have Starship have ship be the second stage, and then have something to do translunar injection be the third, and landing. So, there's other options besides fueling, and there's other options besides the really cheap one, which is to have some orbital thing that you then have to match orbits to, and it's a legitimate way to get people there quickly, but there's still the up and down problem, and the fuel problem. Whereas if you don't worry about even taking stuff back up, the material is just, launch it, land it someplace next, when you got enough stuff next to each other, and a habitat module or two, at least 2, maybe 3, at each spot, so that people can then unpack and work on the stuff and put it together and all that. That's how you do a city on the cheap. Send the stuff, land it in the same place. Then when there's enough stuff there, including hab modules, then send people. The old-fashioned Apollo way, and send up, stations that go up, or ships that go up, and into orbit, and free return. That's the easy part. The free return part's launch, free return. The only problem you have is slowing down. Really, you got to do an orbit that matches the orbital space station, the orbital assembly station, or an orbital tourist station instead, or an orbital base, whatever, and then send them down with Dragon. Dragon's a nice system to go up and down on. You don't need to get much bigger than that. Just do a Dragon every day. We've mastered that. Just send Dragons up to a daily Dragon run to put people up, take people down, put people up, take people down, until you have a gravitational system. It's all you need. Just keep launching those Dragons day after day, and save ship for stay in space use. Nothing should ever be deorbited once it's orbited, except people in Dragon capsules. So do that, and that's real reusability. And that's doing it fast. You don't have to worry about how it lands or catching it. Do that now. As long as it doesn't blow up on the way up, Use the hulls and repurpose them. Do your reusability in orbit. Don't bring things down. That's a waste of money. It's a waste of material. Even if it's a waste of fuel, I guess, and things have to be refurbished. I mean, yeah, it's put tonnage in and leave it there. Then you don't have to worry about heat tiles and re-entry vehicles. Just bounce it up there, have it move around, and go to where it needs to go. Simple as that. So, and then even start sending stuff to Mars on a lark. Just leave it in orbit and see how much junk you can put in Martian orbit. And then, or maybe just land it on a specific place in Mars. If you want to put cargo in Mars, put cargo on Mars. Shouldn't be too hard. Although I would send stuff from the moon to Mars instead. So that's just me. It's just, make that be your staging area too. So, because getting off's easy. You could do, in fact, don't even really have to do engines. That's a catapult place. If you can catapult off the moon in the right direction toward Mars, and and physics is probably there to have it attain orbit, with a little bit of help, a little small burn. Use electric, catapult tracks, or those electric launcher thingies, that 1,000 planets, which I guess I'm one of the sole private sector owners of. So I just got to find the damn plans and the patent information, but it's someplace in the paperwork. So or it's lost, but somebody's got it. Find the person who's got it, and we can then use all break open the tontine and sell it to NASA or sell it to SpaceX, because there are catapult designs out there. 1,000 Planets had one. Just launch things out from the moon to Mars, totally without fuel, or a lot of fuel to break and land, and you can make the fuel on Mars. So, there's a lot of ways to do this with current technology, with a little development, with current science. It can be done with a lot easier than this boondoggle that SpaceX is putting together. So, yeah, call me. Thank you much. Have a good weekend.